Internet, it's your boys. A day late, but definitely not $1 short.
This just came in.
I know it, man. Like, okay, so we normally record this on the Wednesdays, right? On the
On a
Wednesdays, it
Wednesday.
usually goes up Thursday. And, you know, we both had a busy week. We've been schmoozing with some big money hustlers, all that good stuff, right?
You literally had the primetime players conference.
Millions of dollars in this room. No kidding. Oh, but so I got home a little late. You know, I was pretty tired, and I was like, man, maybe I hate doing it because I know you were waiting. And I was like, man, maybe we should just record this tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, cool. We'll just come back. We'll do it tomorrow. Thank God we waited. Because now we got a show. Like, the show is going to be good, but now we got a show. Like,
we got stuff to talk about.
What all dropped in 24 hours here? So we got Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
The Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
The Logan trailer. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, all dropped in this very day. Almost like every hour something was happening.
Some big nerd thing was going on.
Right? So like I'm seeing this on my feed. I'm like, oh, gotta post that. Oh, gotta post this. Oh, gotta post about that.
And out of nowhere too.
Like, I like it, but it was like, you guys gotta calm down a little bit.
You gotta take it easy. Oh, but welcome to Brothering Around, episode number 3. I am Wes Gardner. That is Mr. Marco Flores. Oh, so where do we unload this? Like, what part of this meal do we eat first? Is it those little Hungry Man meals that come with a compartmental trays? Your knockoff rib thing with like nasty barbecue sauce that's slightly burned around the edges.
Yeah.
We got that. Well, we got the corn that's not quite real corn.
The potato, as you were saying, Wes.
Oh, the potato is it stays icy in the middle.
Right.
You know what I mean? You stir it. You stir that shit 4 times. You keep it in there for 17 minutes. And then you get it back out and it's still cold.
Yeah.
Why the potatoes? Like, don't instant potatoes, you can heat those up in 2 minutes? Why does this take forever? I don't get it.
I don't know where you're getting your potatoes, man.
Yeah, but those aren't Idaho potatoes. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, man.
Those are not golden selects.
Before we all start, let's dive into the week so far. Since we missed like yesterday. Yeah. What's been the week like so far for you?
Oh man, just work is a lot. We've been doing we hosted a regional conference for a lot of programming and databasing and all that stuff for work. I work in higher education, so it's all the secondary, college. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I know some names out there like Canvas, Blackboard, a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go into exactly who was at the conference because if people are listening, don't want to show favoritism.
Oh yeah.
Open market. You see what I'm saying? But we hosted the event. It was a regional users group conference, so we got people from like Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Texas, like everywhere. And so we had vendors setting up, and so it was last night was a reception. They paid for our booze. Today, which is always great, right? So stay there all day yesterday setting up. Today was the whole shindig as far as like the main day. They also paid for our booze tonight. And then tomorrow, it's a half day. They have board meetings and all that. So I was like holding down the fort, kind of second in command, had all these security keys and getting like police officers' phone numbers just like on speed dial to be like, make sure these doors are locked, make sure that's good. Because I mean, some of these guys, and I'm talking there is money in this room. Like the vendors. These are just the vendors hanging out. Just, oh, yeah, sure, we might make it, just chill out at our table. These guys had 80-inch touchscreen televisions.
Oh, gosh.
Baller, man. I was looking at this, and he was playing, the guy was playing Plants vs. Zombies on it, by the way. Made me laugh. I was like, good man. Do your thing.
They should have shown, like, the Nintendo Switch trailer.
Yeah, show that Switch
all the news that happened today.
Yeah,
during
the
conference,
man.
They should have done that.
Oh, my, they should have. because I missed out. Like I was not around my phone. I was not around the internet. I was moving up and down two stories worth of conference
Yeah.
rooms and all that stuff. So
So
like,
so so Kami was telling me that like I just sent him a message like saying like, oh, we got a lot to talk about, and he was like, yeah, I'm away from my, I'm not reading anything, so you
yeah.
gotta catch me up. I was like, oh wow, okay, so you really are disconnected at the
Yeah,
moment.
like I didn't have my phone, I didn't have anything. So I checked Twitter like on the little lunch break or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, man, tell
Yeah.
me what's up." So whenever we record, I kind of can check out and know sort of what we're talking about. So yeah,
Right.
Marco filled me in and hooked me up with all that knowledge.
Cool.
Oh, but
So all that
how's
is
your?
all.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and it wraps up tomorrow, and then I get kind of half day of work, and I get to actually relax during the weekend. But
Oh yeah,
what's been
I
going
bet you're
on?
ready for that.
Yeah, no
Y-
kidding. Your neck of the
Yes.
woods.
In my neck of the woods, what is going on? So the past weekend, well, actually, these past like few weeks, was my was my I am not. It's my wife was my wife's birthday over the weekend, right? So
Yeah,
I was planning a surprise birthday the last few weeks.
gotcha.
So yeah, contacting all the friends, Facebook invite and all that stuff, trying to plan this out, trying to make this like a birthday to remember.
Sure.
As the days goes by, or like it's coming closer to the birthday, we found a location where to have it, but we needed to find a way to bring her to the location. So
Yeah.
here's where the pickle is.
Ah.
So so we have all these friends in this group message trying to talk like, so how are we gonna convince her to go to this place? And it's like a long conversation. I actually am kind of tempted to just go through the conversation and just go word by word, but it's like all of us are basically lying to this to my wife, trying to find a way to bring her to the location.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of being quiet because I'm not trying to like get any heat on me
Sure.
as this is happening.
Yeah.
Let's see. So like the most prevalent like stories that we were trying to go for was like a friend of ours was having a date that lived like by our area,
Yeah.
and but he needed to drop off food to the location that we're supposed to go to for the birthday.
Uh-huh.
So he was asking, "Hey, can you guys? Would you guys be able to drop off the food for me if I can give it to you guys?" And so my wife, at this point, my wife is like kind of not complaining, but she was kind of already breaking it down. Like, if he was assigned to drop off food, why didn't he just
Oh
schedule
no.
schedule
Right.
to yeah, schedule to do it earlier rather than having us to do it, because they're not sure
What?
about
Yeah,
time.
she's like,
So
why are all these people acting illogically now? Like, aren't they
yeah,
normally smarter
so
than this? You're right, right.
right, so I'm listening to that story. I'm like, yeah, I know, and I'm like, dang it, this is not working. So okay, so like after she goes on her spiel about it, I'm like, okay, I got to be careful how I'm going to go about this. So
Right.
I tell her, maybe we should help him out, and because because I we didn't have anything planned for her birthday, but like I was trying to hide the fact that I had something planned for her birthday.
Yeah.
So like I was like, yeah, maybe we should help him out, and then just go drop off the food and then go on our way. She caught on to that. It's like because I guess normally whenever things like this happen, I'm usually go with the flow type of guys. Oh yeah, that's fine. I agree with that and stuff.
Right.
But for whatever reason, I'm pushing this idea forward of like helping out our friend.
Yeah.
So so he's like what's going on? Like are you guys planning something? I'm like, no, I'm just saying we should help out, like, and then we'll just go on our own way. So afterwards, after I had that conversation with her, I'm messaging everybody in this group chat, like, dude, like she's on to me. I have heat
Red
on
alert.
me. So
Red alert.
yeah, right, red alert, red alert. I have heat on me. So I need to calm down and not say anything. Can like you guys talk. I cannot be like, uh, associated with this right now.
Right.
So, anyways, fast forward to the day of, and what was the idea? So the idea was to blindfold her, and then so she won't know where she's going or where we're
Yeah.
going.
Right.
She was not about that. She wasn't
No,
about
I
that
was about
idea.
to say,
she wasn't about that idea because you're like, nope, you're not blindfolding me. I have all this makeup on, and then, you're gonna mess it up with the blindfold. I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh gosh, this is so frustrating. This is so frustrating. Okay, so I was like, okay, all right. At the very least, just close your eyes, and then I'll drive, and then we'll, just close your eyes until I say to open your eyes. She's like,
Yeah.
okay, fine, fine. I'm driving, right? I promise I'm gonna get to at the end of the story. I'm driving to the location.
Yeah.
She tells me I have an idea where you're going because she
Oh.
mentally knows the turns to the place that we're
Oh
going to.
no.
She knows it that much. I was like, dang it. Like, and I was trying to think, okay, if I go directly to that location, she's gonna know. I
Yeah.
knew that already.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, if I go a different location, she's gonna get on my case of like, why are you wasting the gas? Stop,
What?
stop wasting the gas. This is just where we need to go. So like, I'm not gonna win here. So I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna go directly to the location. Anyways, it's like she mentally knows the turns that we get to the location. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, we're finally here. We go up the stairs. Uh, funny enough, awesomely enough, the person that the house that we're at, they try to play like Italian music just to try to throw her off. It didn't work, but we just tried to do it at least. So she opens her eyes, say, "Okay, open your eyes." Everybody's like surrounding her in the doorway. Yells out, "Surprise!" And she's like, "Oh, she's laughing and she's all surprised." But she was like, "Hey, you know what? I knew what you I knew where we were going." I was like,
Oh.
"Never again, never again, never again any surprise birthday parties. Never
Right.
again. Not to you.
Oh,
You
but
are too smart for."
what?
For
Yeah,
me to
exactly.
be.
Like she's clearly the smartest person in the room already, and she's like, "You guys are dumb," and you're like, "Oh, we got her!" Like,
We got her. I was like, okay, we got her on the surprise because she wasn't expecting a surprise birthday party. But I had
right?
no way of like trying to trick her. Like,
Yeah,
okay, we're
you
gonna
just
go
can't
to
do
this
it.
place.
And like, how could you possibly try to? Because yeah, anytime any sort of surprise thing, and it's like, who knows you better than your wife? Like, no, any
Right.
tell or like sneaky. Oh, I could be clever. Like, no,
Yeah.
she's just gonna like give you that look and be like, "What the hell are you doing right
Yeah.
now? What are
Right.
you? What are you up
Yeah.
to? Huh?
Yeah.
What are you up to?"
So yeah, that. Yeah, exactly. She was on. She was like that. I was like, I'm not. I'm just wondering, like, what's going on? It's because I didn't plan anything, quote unquote.
Yeah, surprise
So
birthday
yeah.
parties are tough because you can't. It's almost like it has to be a surprise for everybody.
Yeah.
For it to
Yeah.
even work. That way nobody tells, nobody shows it, nobody sells it, and
Right.
you just like kind of
So
all end up in the same place. Like, whoa! Like
right. So this conversation thread, like somebody was saying, like we're all gonna die because we're lying to her so much.
yes, everyone's in
Everybody
on
that
it. And
was
she's
there was like saying, like, yeah, I had this thing going, I had this thing happening on that day or whatever. Just whenever they were talking to her, and like we're all laughing, and one of the guys like, we're gonna die.
yeah.
She's gonna,
Oh,
yeah.
she's like, why is everyone telling me that they have plans on my birthday? That's weird.
Right.
Unspecific. They never tell me my plans ever, but oh, that
Yeah.
one day I'm way gonna be out of town. I'm gonna be doing
Yeah.
some way not
Exactly.
here.
Yeah. So yeah, like that happened on the weekend. I redeemed myself in Muay Thai because apparently they like my punching power, um,
Oh yeah.
which is awesome. And then I got a parking ticket at my work, and like
Oh blame.
that killed my day. And then at that same day, I like my service engine light went up. I was like, oh come on, what
Oh
is going on
snap.
out of this day? But I'm here. I'm ready to talk news. I'm ready to do
Yeah.
brothering around. And
Brothering
yeah,
around,
let's
man.
do it.
Oh, so business about to pick up. Okay.
This is about to pick up.
Just get a picture of a bunch of like stakes, and the stakes have never been higher. You know
Right. Right.
that good old JR
Ca-
pun.
Career versus IC title stakes.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so I think we'll talk. Let's talk. Okay, let's actually open with this. Let's open up with some Guardians of the Galaxy
Sure.
2. Now, here's the
Okay.
deal. And this will actually tie into Logan. This will be kind of our. I know we talked about kind of a Marvel movie comic type thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is all going to be kind of in the deal because here's the deal. I've not seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah. You remember you telling me?
Yeah, have not seen it. I'm one of the 7 people on Earth that have not seen that movie. Here's the deal. Okay, so growing up, I'll just do a little bit of background on my comic stuff. Like, I like to draw. I like to do illustrations and stuff. Part of that growing up is I like to buy comic books. There's certain issues of like Spider-Man versus Venom,
Right.
like Maximum Carnage type stuff I would buy. I bought some old Cable comics. Like back in the day, if I just liked the picture on the cover, I'd probably buy the comic. Because, at the time, what comics were 60 cents, $1 maybe.
Yeah, like
So,
$1, $3
my
most.
mom would be like, sure, we'll get you. Yeah, you want a thing that's $1? Of course, we'll get it. So,
Right.
I'd get 2 or 3 comics a week, and I wouldn't really be way into comics per se, but I just like the pictures, and I draw them and stuff like that. But then I ended up like becoming a fan of Gambit. So all of the stuff that people make fun of for like, oh, those makeshift '90s comic book fans, those like fair weather fans. That's me.
Yeah.
Like they're making fun of me directly, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
who likes Gambit? And I'm like, dude, Gambit's pretty boss. I think Gambit's cool.
Yeah. No, Gambit has a fan base, man.
You know what I mean? So I guess if quote unquote like if there is a poser fan of comics, that's probably me. But I will say that like my stuff, I love The Crow, James O'Barr, love that stuff. Love Planetary. Read a lot of like Why the Last Man. So a lot of these longer form graphic novels. I don't know what is that really a distinction anymore? Is there a difference?
Yeah, there is.
Okay,
there is. Yeah, there is. Like, it sounds like your taste, at least of like right now, your taste will probably fall more into like the Image comics, not like Image in the '90s or like Wildcats and like Wetworks and all that stuff.
But like Preacher and
something like that. Yeah,
are they Preacher?
Saga or something like that.
Yes, yeah, right.
I don't know exactly if Preacher is Image, but like that line of like comics that you just mentioned, like that's more of the creator owned like indie type comimes.
Sure.
So like those, and those are still good. Like you can find like good quality work, and as long as you're into what the premise is, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like I just stick with mainly Marvel and a lesser extent DC. And I'm kind of curious about like the other indie titles, but then like the Ninja Turtles comics and like the Power Rangers comics.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And like Sonic and Mega Man, like some of the things that I'm familiar already about.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So with Guardians of the Galaxy, it's fine that like you don't really know about them because they weren't really known back in the day. Like in the '90s, sure, there was a team of Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not the ones that you see, like with like Rocket Raccoon and Groot, and like Star-Lord and all that stuff. So like with this movie, it's like it's mainly like a ragtag bunch of like space characters that happen to get together and like they save the galaxy, save the universe, or whatnot.
Gotcha.
So like Chris Pratt, his character Star-Lord, like he was an Earthling, got kidnapped up to space, and then like he had some like alien lineage within his, within it, like his dad is like a super serious like cosmic entity or like a king or something.
Yeah.
While Rocket Raccoon, like I'm not sure about his story. Like I think he's like he's like a modified raccoon, but like a species out there. And then Groot is a tree person that only says I am Groot. But in his thinking, he's saying other things, but all he can say outwards to people is I am Groot.
Gotcha.
Dave Bautista plays Drax. I'm not exactly sure what his backstory is. I just know that Thanos killed his family, and then like in the movie, he played this. Bautista did this awesome. Like he has very very dry humor.
Right.
Like you can say a saying like "you're in over your head," and then I think the joke was like Bautista was saying, "Nothing ever goes over my head. I'm always present on everything around me." Like that's not what he means. That's not what he's talking about.
So he takes it literal, like colloquialisms.
He takes it literally, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. And then Gamora, I think, is like Thanos' daughter, and that's all. And then that's that. So with part 2, you're expecting they were gonna have a part 2, but I guess they switched some of the characters around because I think the there's a person named Yondu who wasn't in the main team in the movie, but
Yeah.
I guess his part was so awesome that I guess they just added him into the team, or in like in this at least
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie. I think it's the I guess like a bounty hunter that was hunting Chris Pratt around in the first movie. Anyways, but yeah, you're just seeing new scenes and like it's just more. Oh, it's funny that you kind of missed this movie because you know how the Marvel movies is like kind of serious
You,
with like some
yeah,
light humor,
sure.
right? Guardians of the Galaxy is like the most humorous out of all the Marvel movies
That's
and
what I've
doesn't
heard.
take itself too serious at
Yeah, that's
all.
what I've heard. That it kind of it knows that it's goofy, but like
Yeah,
the audience is also in on the joke, so that's what makes it
yeah,
enjoyable.
right. Like
Uh,
the thing with Chris Pratt's character is since he came from Earth and I think he was like from the 80s, early 90s,
yeah,
he was brought up on a Walkman, and so like as you see him in like those adventures like of now, he still rocks a Walkman and has tapes, and he
nice.
plays it in a spaceship and all that stuff. And then yeah. So
Oh,
like
that's
yeah,
cool.
if you were to dive into a Marvel movie, I would say this one, part one is a great one just because it doesn't take itself too seriously and there's so much humor, and Batista's great and everybody's
But
great in that movie.
even Batista in the trailer, he made me laugh with the
Yeah,
scene where the hug or
yeah,
whatever. I can't
yeah. He
remember even what it
misread
was
that.
about.
He's like, "You did a hug." He's like, "No, I did not." And he just straight up gave up.
It's
I was
pretty
like,
good.
"I
Like
just told you that I didn't need a hug."
the timing is just on point with it, and
Yeah.
oh, that's good. Cause yeah, I'm trying to even think of the last Marvel movie I've seen. Probably Deadpool, right?
Deadpool.
Um,
I thought you were gonna say like Blade or something.
yeah. I have seen. Hey, I have seen all the Blades
Hey
with
man, Blade,
Triple
man.
H and his Pomeranian. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Um.
Oh man, and his metal fangs.
Oh my God. But like saw the first Avengers.
Hmm.
Saw the first Captain America. Saw the first Iron Man. So I've seen like a lot of the firsts of
Okay.
these big spectacle Marvel movies, I guess, because now they've
Right.
become such a thing, and
Yeah.
they hold a lot of weight, and uh, it's weird because I'm worried, and this is just as like the most casual fan, right? Just looking, but I'm
Right.
worried that the Marvel movies are going to run into the same thing that the actual Marvel comics have, to where it becomes so like
Oversaturated
no, maybe sort of.
in terms of movies, like more like hero movies.
Or right, like too much of a good thing, but then also okay, with the Captain America movies, there's Captain
Hmm.
America, right?
Right.
Then
Right.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yep.
Then there's Captain America Civil War.
Right.
Okay, 15 years from now, who besides super hardcore Marvel fans are going to be like, what order do I watch these in? Because like coming into
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like coming into a
yeah.
Marvel run, let's say, because they each have a run. From my limited, not like here's the one story beat. So this is going to
Hmm.
be a 20 issue run, and then we're going to kind of hit the reset button again. And now here's a new run with a new villain and a
Right.
new. So is it going to get so big that there's 19 Captain America movies? Which one's actually a Captain America movie? Which one's an Avengers movie called Captain America? Which one's a you see
Right.
what I'm saying? Where it becomes like it's so twisted
Yeah.
and webbed
So
inclusive, and like how can someone just jumping in like keep track of what's going on?
right. So I think like if you're like say like there's a person that has no idea how to watch these movies,
Yeah,
you can kind of correlate it to Star Wars because like somebody like at least everybody has seen Star Wars and then they'll recommend you how to watch them, right?
gotcha.
But if you're say like you would have to not like know what the internet is or just not try to rely on the internet on how to watch these movies because when these movies came out, they all came out in phases, right? So like what was it like Iron Man, for the first, like Iron Man, Thor, Captain
Right.
America.
Yep.
I want to say Avengers. Like that was like phase one, and then phase two, you would watch the twos, because they kind of connected in a sense.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing some movies from phase one, but like that's how you're and if you want to keep it connected from all of
Sure.
them, that's how you watch them. But you can watch, like, say, all the Captain Americas all together. Um, they're they're kind of like they're one and done because they're movies, right? They're not doing
Yeah.
part one and part two.
Right. Right.
So like Captain America one is totally separate from Captain America two. Captain America two is totally separate from
Oh,
three.
okay. See, what I was worried about is that, okay, they're going to be setting up something in Captain America the Winter Soldier that they're going to talk
Mhm.
about in like Avengers 2, which they're going to talk about in Thor 3, that they're going to. But I was worried that then there was also the continuity between like Captain America 1, then the Winter Soldier, then this. And it's like, oh man, if you're branching
Right.
into two full on, like, this could be a sequel. So I guess there's something genuinely nice about there's a Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Mhm.
Like they call it that. Like it's not
Yeah.
Guardians of the
Volume two.
Galaxy Infinite blah blah blah. Like isn't it
Right. Right.
so
Yeah.
I think there's something nice about it being like, here is the second one. Like,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
that way, like for future reference going back. And if you just like, but I will say that kind of the benefit of it, and especially with the stuff like Netflix, with the Daredevil show and Luke Cage,
Yeah.
there's going to be something for everybody. But like, for instance, even if you saw nothing else of Marvel, you could be a Luke Cage guy.
Yeah.
Or
Totally.
like I just watched the Avengers movies, or I just
Mhm.
watched the Captain America movies, and then you could have solid films to watch just from the one brand. Just from
Right.
I'm only a fan of Thor. I just
Mhm.
give me my Thor. That's all I want. And like
Give me my Tom Hiddleston.
yeah, give me that Loki action, and then other than that, I'm fine. Like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you
But
can do
the
that. You could
that's
totally do
cool.
that.
That's cool.
Yeah. I would say the interconnectivity within all the movies is more of an Easter egg rather than like you need to know
Okay,
where this movie
that's good.
ends and where you need to go next.
Because
It's all
then,
like,
yeah.
like icing on the cake type of thing.
Okay, so that because that's what worried me because everyone now is talking about Agents of Shield, and that seems like a show completely built on 6 degrees of separation, to where it's
Mhm.
like you need to watch
Yeah.
all these fucking Marvel movies to even know what's going on in one episode of Agents of Shield. Like I haven't watched it, so I don't know if that's the case, but that's kind of how
Right.
it's portrayed and talked about. It's like, whoa, remember the third scene from the second Captain America movie where the
Yeah.
fourth person on screen is the extra from, and you're like, "Duh," like my
Yeah.
brain just starts
With
like
that
falling apart.
with that show, they use that all the movies to connect with the show. So, if you like the movies, you should watch the show. But it does, I guess whatever arcs that they're at, it'll
Yeah,
take place within, like, either after or during or before, like, that movie per se. But again, you can watch everything on its own. You can look up how to watch these movies, but it's not required because the interconnectivity is just an Easter is just it's added bonus if you're really
gotcha.
that deep in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that actually ties in. Okay, so maybe now this will move kind of onto the Logan part.
Right.
So if you want to talk about a clusterfuck of continuity, let's talk about Wolverine in movies.
Yeah.
So there's the X-Men, then there was the X-Men like reboot,
Mhm.
sort of. Then there's X-Men Origins. Then there's X-Men the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Then there's I'm like, I know I've seen 5 Wolverine movies. I just couldn't tell you what each one was.
What? Yeah. Yeah.
And now this one, I mean, the trailer
Logan.
looked good. So okay, so the girl, and I don't. Can you spoiler a trailer? Like, is that a thing we need to say? Oh, spoilers if you haven't seen the.
I mean, like, for people who are not even into comics, they're not going to know what the premise of the story is.
Yeah.
So, like, in this movie, as far as I understand, because I know they're throwing some stuff out of the original comic or the storyline that they're trying to go with.
Yeah.
So in Logan, they're trying to go with the Old Man Logan comic or story
Right.
in the comics. So like Logan's an old man. As you can see, like with his hands, like it hurts more
Yeah.
so to
So
unleash his claws.
my deal. So there's the girl. Is that
Right.
girl? Is that X-23?
That could possibly. I
You know what
know
I'm
that
saying? Because
there's been
that's
talks that
yeah.
that she's coming around. Maybe that is her. Yeah.
Because
The
that's
switch
the
the switch.
only story
Okay,
I
go
know.
ahead.
Yeah, that's the only story I know about a young girl with the same type of thing as
Mhm.
Wolverine is X-23. Like, I don't know why I know that, but like I that may have been a run of Wolverine that I read like way back in the day.
I don't know exactly how she got brought up. I just know that she was a clone of
Yeah,
Wolverine, and then I think superhero like comics or movies, they fight each other first, and then they'll get to know like, oh yeah, no, you're not too bad of a person.
gotcha.
So
Right.
like, yeah, so you're not gonna if that in case is X-23, you're not gonna see that right now because she they're talking as if she was founded like she was found basically,
Yeah.
and then I guess Xavier is saying like, she is just like you. Maybe he's saying like she's like maybe the very last mutant on Earth in that timeline because
Okay.
there's this thing about these soldiers like hunting. I want to say mutants, um, to relate that with the comic like uh, Xavier wasn't the buddy cop in the comic, in that at
Right.
least in that story. It was Hawkeye because Hawkeye, they grew old. Hawkeye grew old as well, like with Logan, and then like he became blind. But for this movie, it had to be Xavier because it's the X-Men movie universe, and how
Right.
that's separated from
Right.
the regular Marvel universe because Fox owns the rights to X-Men. You know that whole deal. So yeah, they're using like Logan and they find this girl, and then I guess Mr. Sinister is the villain of this movie,
Huh.
as far as I know. And I don't know what his agenda is in that timeline. I guess hunting for mutants. But like, yeah, you're just seeing Old Man Logan in movie form. It looks kind of weird from what I see in the comics, but you're not gonna always get it 100% duplicate
Sure.
of what you
Right.
see in the
Right.
comics.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. And a part of me is just wants the X-Men movie universe just to die so Marvel can get it back. But they're gonna keep making them because yeah, that's the clause in their contract is keep
Yeah.
making X-Men movies. If they don't, then it goes back to Marvel.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. So they're gonna keep making them because I mean now's the time to make them. You
Yeah,
know.
right.
Um. But yeah, it looks good. I mean, just overall. But yeah, this was definitely one of those trailers too. I was like, I
Yeah,
know what's going on in maybe 10% of this.
yeah. I mean that's
Yeah.
what I'm getting from the trailer so far.
Okay. So it's not just me, because like whenever the new Marvel movie, and not even just Marvel, but like even comic movies in general, like I don't know
Mhm.
who the fuck the Suicide Squad is. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody did until I think they were kind
until
of
yeah,
yeah, so like sort of like how we said Guardians of the Galaxy. No one really, I mean,
yeah,
they kind of
exactly. Nobody
mentioned them,
knew about them until they blew up.
yeah. So I
Everybody
think
fell in
that
love with Groot and all that stuff.
right, yeah, it became a pop culture thing, and James Gunn actually knew
Mhm.
how to direct a movie, and so
Mhm.
all the things kind of hit. But yeah, it seems that they're just both DC and Marvel are just trying to find the thing. Like
Mhm.
they're trying to find the next thing to be the next major blockbuster. Because I bet these movies are funding the next 5 movies. Like
Yeah,
we
totally.
made 2 billion or however much money they made on Guardians. Um, that funded their next 2 movies.
Mhm.
So then all those movies fund the next 5 movies, and those movies,
Yeah.
so they got this perpetual motion machine of just making money.
Yeah.
What I did appreciate was that the tagline for the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 movie poster, it just says Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It shows them in a lineup, and then it just says, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Right.
yeah, pretty much, because you made
Yeah.
$8 quadrillion with this movie, so like, why not make another one? But yeah, now it's gotten so big. But I mean, I just don't know if it's my lack of. It sounds bad to say it. I don't know if it's just I don't care, or if it's just I kind of have a decision on I like what I like. Like, okay, so if they brought out a Josh Holloway Gambit movie, I'd be there day one.
I think it's still Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
For Gambit.
See, and that's fine. I mean, and Channing Tatum's a little, now he's gotten way bigger than he was whenever he played, or wasn't it? Because in X-Men Origins, it was Taylor Kish, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was Taylor Kish, kid from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
But like, just look at a good picture, Josh Holloway. I'll say this till my dying day. Look at a good picture of Josh Holloway from Lost. He played Sawyer on Lost, and tell me that man is not born to play Gambit. Like, let me get you a picture right now. We're using our technology. Let me send you this link, sir. So in real time, I can get this reaction. Like, Josh Holloway was literally like out of the womb made to play, because he has a slight Southern accent. You could turn that into a Cajun Creole style deal real quick. And then he's like 6'4". He's too pretty for his own good, but he has like the mischievous smile type stuff. And you're like, okay, this guy's Gambit. Like, there's just no two ways about it.
You know what's funny? Kevin Nash is trying to be Cable for Deadpool.
I see that. I could see it.
I kind of see it too. Me too. Yeah, like, he kind of has the hair,
and he has that scruff, and like,
he has a scruff. Yeah, I can see it.
Like that. Just put that headband thing on him.
Yeah, headband thing with.
You see what I'm saying? Coat. He carries the bow staff, and you're like, that's fucking Gambit. Like, there's, and you hear him talk, and you're like, yeah, he has that smooth like Southern drawl voice, and you're like, okay, like they could tear this up. Like they could get it going. But like, give me one of those, I'm in. It seems like they've rebooted Spider-Man like 5 times.
Yeah. I'm hoping this one will be good. Now it's back. Well, it's half back with Marvel.
That's so weird, because it was Sony for a while, right?
Sony had it, and then it wasn't working. I mean, like, they made money, but it wasn't.
Sure.
It wasn't the movie. It wasn't the money that they were expecting to make off of Spider-Man.
Right.
So Sony was like, you know what? We still own the rights, but please just make a good Spider-Man movie, and
do you think
we'll call it a day?
And this might be opening a whole can of worms, and we might get tons of angry responses. But do you think that who is it, Miles Morales? Do you think a Miles Morales Spider-Man film will ever make as much money as a Peter Parker Spider-Man film?
No. I don't think so either. I don't think people had a hard time accepting Miles Morales in the comic books, right, in the beginning, and then I mean, like, you still have both of them. You still have Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the comics, but to have an only Miles Morales like Spider-Man movie, I mean, you can kind of look what happened to Fantastic Four, the new one.
Oh yeah.
Where he got really jacked up because nobody wanted to see Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch. And I mean, like, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah. It's a shame.
It.
And then it's also like, how many times, and this could be said the same thing for like Batman video games, and hell, even Batman movies, really. But like, how many times for a Spider-Man film do people want to see the whole thing with Uncle Ben again, and like, oh no, he died, and then there's Aunt May, And so like on all the Batman shit, it's like, oh, his parents died in the alley and they got shot. It's like, fucking, we know, we've heard this for 40 years.
I'm done.
We know
with the origin story. You can like make maybe a one scene or two, but like don't do a whole like 20 minutes showing how he found the Bat Cave, and then how the bats lifted him up off of the cave into like, you know, come on, man.
Everyone's just making the same movie over and over. Like, yeah, it's over. Like but okay, and this is gonna. I thought the Spider-Man question would rile people up. This is gonna be the kicker. Now, this is where we're gonna get the death threat sent to us. So, will DC Comics ever get movies as good as those Nolan Batman movies ever again?
You can't Nolanize the rest of the people. Like, you can't Nolanize. I mean, you did it with Superman in a sense, but that doesn't really work because, like, Superman killed in those movies. And I always make the joke, like, Man of Steel was a great Dragon Ball Z movie, not a Superman movie. I always make that joke. Because if you just think that Superman is Goku, the movie works fine.
Yeah.
But because it's a Superman movie,
that's true.
It just doesn't work because he's killing people. He's not saving people because Pa Kent was like, no, otherwise they'll know your secret. Like, dude, you died.
No, don't save me from this tornado that's 30 miles away that we could clearly all just fucking walk away.
Right. You can just run and grab people, or like don't save that bus full of kids because they're know your secret.
Come on, like, Pa. Pa's just little drunkie on the Jack Daniels, like he's like, fuck those kids.
Yeah, like, exactly. But,
I will say my favorite 2 minutes of any superhero movie really were the minutes in Man of Steel near the end where they're near Pa Kent's grave and they say the really dumb line of, "Oh, I wish Pa could have seen it." And then she's like, he did, son. He said it. He saw all of it. But then the scene that they filmed, the scene they filmed after, to where it was the little boy and he has like a towel on and he took it with a cape and he's playing with his dog and they play the nice, Superman music and it's shot really well. I was like, that 2 minute, or not even 2 minutes, it's maybe a 40-second scene. I was like, that 40-second scene is the best superhero film ever made. Like, because that's what it is. It's little kids that want to save the world. So, like, you put the nice touch of music on it. You see the little boy playing with his dog, and he wants to go save people. And I'm like, okay. For me, all the rest of Man of Steel fucking sucked. But that, like, 40 seconds was worth the $10 or $11. I was like, they at least filmed that. So, great. I'm good. Like, they saved it to the end. That was the one scene I came in here for, a little boy putting on a towel and like acting like it's a cape. Like we all did it. We all did it. I'm in. Yeah. You sold me. I'm good.
Right. But it's funny because this goes back to the very first time we did Power Hour together. Was it episode 5?
I think so. Yeah.
Was it episode 5? I know it was DCUO, but yeah, like we literally said the same things about Man of Steel and
it's funny because like the rest of the movie was kind of hot trash, but like because he was taking out city blocks and then
he said, "I saved the world, I saved the city."
Yeah.
Dude, you killed that city.
And then they brought that into Batman v Superman, right? To where it's like there you got grumpy Ben Affleck going like, he fucked up my city.
Yeah, he does the same thing. He shoots people with his rifle. He's not even supposed to use guns, or he promised not to use guns, but he did the same thing. And I believe they're going to do the same exact thing for Dawn of Justice. Oh no, not Dawn of Justice. Justice League movie.
Oh, and that's gonna.
But I think it's gonna be like Aquaman killing people.
Dude, I'm all in for a Jason Momoa Aquaman movie. I know people make fun of that shit.
Yeah,
but I'm like, dude,
you keep that casting. I wasn't convinced. I wasn't convinced of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, but the more I see her, I was like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, it
Yeah, I
works.
get it. I get it.
I see it. You
But
know?
yeah, and even Jason Momoa, apparently on set and stuff, has an amazing sense of humor. And it's like, who better
Yeah,
to play
yeah. I see the vine. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
who better
playing
to play
Aquaman.
Aquaman than the goofy guy? Like,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Because like you control the dolphins, bro. But the thing
Right.
is, it's also to give him credit. How much? What percentage of the planet is ocean? Like
Dude.
72,
Yeah,
73. That's a lot of power, man.
that's his domain, man.
There's probably shit in the ocean we don't know about.
Exactly.
He's gonna bring up some 400-foot tall octopus.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen the new Injustice 2 like supers, like especially Aquaman's, where he just summons like a Goliath, like huge, like Leviathan piranha thing
Oh wow.
coming out of the water. But like, yeah, like that's Aquaman. Like, everybody makes jokes about Aquaman. I'm guilty of doing that too. But dude, yeah, you can't mess with Aquaman.
Yeah, it's
when
like there
are
parts of the ocean that have no light. Like
right.
you can't even see. Like it's like you're in space with no stars. Like how horrifying is that? It's just complete darkness and you can't go anywhere. Like, oh, that's horrifying.
Right.
This dude fucking controls it.
Exactly.
He's like a hardcore dude, man.
He is.
He's a true brother, basically.
Like you be a brother. You be a brother. You be the brother you want on your side.
That's right. People talk
be
smack.
on his side.
Yeah, we'll see. Those tidal waves come crashing down. You'll come crying, crawling back to Aquaman.
Jeez.
Oh, let's see. What else did we get? So we got the little comic stuff. So, Red Dead.
Red Dead. Okay,
Red Dead Redemption 2.
As you said, you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy. I never played a Red Dead.
Okay, so Red Dead Revolver
or Redemption. Yeah.
Okay, so Red Dead Revolver was okay. It was fine. The way I see the evolution from Red Dead Revolver to Red Dead Redemption is the same evolution I see from like Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2.
Okay.
So Assassin's Creed 1 and the same with Red Dead Revolver. It was a neat game that had some good ideas, but it didn't play very well. Like, I liked it okay. I liked both of those okay. I was like, yeah, I'm having a good time. I wish more games were set in this period. So there was a lot of stuff going for it that kind of, I don't know, not necessarily hid the fact that there were problems, but like you forgave the problems because it's like, how many games take place in Jerusalem? Like, not very many. This is cool. Or like, how many games really let you, besides like Gunstar Heroes or whatever, like let you really be a cowboy? Like, really just cowboy up. Like, not a lot. Yeah. So, hey, I'll give this a free pass. You have Call of Juarez, but that's a little different. But, yeah, so Red Dead was okay. Red Dead Redemption was money. I will say it right now. Red Dead Redemption's the best game Rockstar's ever made. And I'm counting Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm counting 4. I'm counting anything. Like, Red Dead Redemption is a genius video game.
Wasn't that your game of the year? One of the years?
I think so. It was either that or like tied for runner-up or something. But yeah, man, Red Dead Redemption, it was beautiful. It was the best thing about it is the opening scene kind of sets the whole stage. So we know Rockstar likes to make stories that are kind of like, they like to redo Scarface over and over. Like, they really like that Scarface, oh, I'm just a guy, I'm hanging out in the streets and life's tough, but oh man. And then they kind of luck into either bank heisting or now I'm going to get in the drug trade and make a ton of money. And so you like have your quote unquote rise to power. Red Dead Redemption is the polar opposite of that. You start off in the very opening scene, you're in a train car and you overhear these people talking. I need to remember exactly what the discussion is, but it's this like girl talking about, I haven't seen it with my own two eyes, and like all this stuff. And they're talking about a car. Like they've never seen a car, but whenever they get off of the train, one of the old Model Ts just gets put on the lot. Like they just take it off the train and they're looking at it and like, oh, look. So then here's John Marston, I think. So John Marston is the main character that you play as. He's getting off the train and he walks by this car and there's not really a moment about it. It's just like he walks by it, but then it clicks with you and you're like, okay, this is setting up. Here's a guy that is about to not be important. You know what I'm saying? Like here is a guy so set in his ways of being a cowboy. He's doing the outlaw stuff, Wild West, whatever. Fuck that, man. There's about to be cars on the road. Like you're not hot shit anymore. And so the whole game is this deal of, you're going to different cities and you're taking out these bandits and you're doing all this stuff, but it's almost like a last swan song. And you just met this character. Like you just met this character and then like what does he stand for? And like where is his conscience and all this other stuff. So it's like what happens if you know you're about to be like defunct, that you're about to be not needed anymore? So there's this like slow build, and I don't want to spoil it. Like, trust me, that's the last thing I want to do about Red Dead. But the ending is genius, absolute 100% genius, and it's one of the better game endings I've ever seen. It's set up perfectly for the sequel, so I'm glad we're getting it. It's one of those games that I'll still go back to, and I'm like, this. I don't think Rockstar is ever going to make a better game than this. And that, like, it hit on all cylinders perfectly because it was subtle. Rockstar's not very good with subtlety, like Grand Theft Auto. Like, what was the name of the internet place? And Grand Theft Auto, what was it, 4 or 5? Yeah, so it was TW and then the @ symbol.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, come on, guys. Like, that's a little bottom of the barrel, even for them, right? But Red Dead doesn't have that. It plays it straight. It knows what it wants to say, and then it says it. So it doesn't try to get fancy and cocky and all this stuff. And like, oh, look how funny and clever we are. Like, this was just a story about here's a cowboy and he's not needed anymore.
No Bruce.
No Brucey, no secretly
in the Red Dead.
Yeah. No secretly very gay guy that's repressing his feelings. Yeah. See, they make great dumb characters like that. But like that's why I think Red Dead really blew me away, is because I was expecting that sort of wacky, slightly on the nose type stuff, and it didn't do that. And I was like, wait a minute, like Rockstar can actually tell a story here. It did handle race stuff a little weird. Like, I'll say that. I know Imran Khan. He's a freelancer for like Playboy and stuff now. But he actually on Twitter, I think last week, whenever all this hype about Red Dead 2 started, he did a little thing on Twitter where he was like, I really love that game, but there's still something uneasy about the way it handled race relations. And I need to go back and play it to get more of like an insight on that. But I remember it handling things pretty well, and I could be mistaken on it, but it was at least more subtle than like the straight up Brucey type shit. You know what I mean? Which is, I think there's a place for that too. Like there's a place for subtlety, and then there's a place for South Park. There's there's two sides of the coin type thing. But but overall, I wholeheartedly recommend Red Dead Redemption. Like Revolver, but
I can bypass that.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, from what you saw of the trailer, do you see anything that links the story from 1 to 2, or is it just general? Like, this is what you can do. We have 7 people in a posse.
Yeah, I think it was that. I do think, depending on who the main character is, that could be the link.
Right.
And like I said, I don't want to give a lot away, but I don't think they said any names in the trailer, did they?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You didn't really see any faces. You just saw like,
correct.
This happened.
Okay. Yeah. So it depends on who I'll put it. It depends on who comes back.
Okay.
So yeah, to kind of set the stage.
And what the setting is, right?
Yes. So the setting looks like it's a little bit more. Of course, they have more horsepower to play with as far as graphics. But the game looks gorgeous. Yeah, it looks like freaking Witcher 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. These games look beautiful. I don't think I would need better graphics ever. Like, I'm at that point, maybe I'm old, cynical man and I don't like change, but I'm like, this is almost too good. Like, now I almost feel bad for playing this because it looks like I'm really running over people. Like, so, like, it's so real. And it's just amazing technology.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
I was mentioning, I think before we went on the air, like, I think a lot of what they're doing with Grand Theft Auto Online, they're gonna do it in Red Dead Redemption.
Yes,
in terms of like the online heists and all that stuff.
And that would be great for
yeah,
that would be amazing because man, if we could get like a posse together and go and like rob carriages on the road, you just go pull people over outlaw style.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be baller, man. That'd be unbelievable.
Have your own hideout and stuff.
And see, and I don't have a big like fascination with the Wild West. I mean, hell, I was born in Oklahoma where they had the land run. And like now I live in Texas. Like it's as cowboy up as you can get, and I don't own cowboy boots, no Levi's, nothing. Like I just don't. That's not my thing. So, but like Red Dead nailed the sort of like Red Dead was so good that I liked it despite not liking westerns. Like that's how good it was. And yeah, so it sold me. I was like, oh my God, this is great. So now I see all those graphics of the big prairies and stuff. And I'm like, yes, I want to go visit all that stuff. And like, I don't give two shits one way or another about the like Western culture and that type of stuff. But Red Dead was such a fun game and it made the open world make more sense. Like it basically setting Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West answers a lot of problems of Grand Theft Auto. Because now it doesn't feel as crowded. You actually have time to explore because, hey, it's going to take you 5 minutes to run from one town to the other.
Right.
You have more room to play around and you there's more. It's funny, there's less to look at, but there's more to do. So, it hit this nice balance. And I hope they continue that with Red Dead 2.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, but man, it's
this
solid.
Is like the most requested game sequel out of the Rockstar library. For sure.
And I'm glad they're gonna. It's probably gonna come to PC day one. I hope at least. But I mean, Grand Theft Auto came out. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out PC like a year later, I think.
Okay.
So that might be the same thing for Red Dead. This might be a game I buy twice, to where I'll buy it on consoles if it does it first, and I'm not big on that. Yeah, I might buy it for console to be able to play it, and then buy it as a remastered edition on PC. I'm kind of thinking that with Final Fantasy 15 as well.
A remaster,
or like because they haven't officially said it's coming to PC.
Or whatever.
Yeah, they haven't said it's coming to PC, but it's like it's probably going to come to PC. I mean, every other Square game over the past like 6 years has come to PC, so. They haven't announced it, but it's probably coming. So I may buy it on PS4 and then buy it again on PC when it comes out. I don't know.
But weren't usually I don't know, I'm just generalizing, I guess, but like isn't like the PC versions like usually like the crappier? Like really they're not done optimal?
Okay, so like last generation, yeah. Because the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox original Xbox or 360 type that type of architecture wasn't really set up like a PC. But now you have freaking the Xbox One and the PS4. They're kind of running like a kernel version of Linux, which is basically a PC operating system. So now I would say that the PC versions are like the definitive versions. Like they're the versions to get because patches help improvement. Graphics cards are getting cheaper and cheaper every day. Like, so you're getting better performance. You can unlock frame rate, mod support. So like there's more to it now. But yeah, back in the day during like the PS2 era, oh my God, If they put a PS2
Yeah.
game out on the PC, that was dog shit. Like pretty
Yeah.
much always. Unless it was built by a separate team from the ground up for PC.
Right.
And then even then you got mixed results. But yeah, now everything's a computer. I mean, everything is basically running a version of Windows. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Good. Good.
So yeah, but it works really well. And yeah, I like buying kind of the definitive versions of stuff on the PC
Sure.
just to have it because I have a
Yeah.
ridiculous Steam library. I think it's at 1,200 games.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, man. It's dumb. It takes me like a minute and a half to scroll down the list of games that I have.
Right.
It's just nuts. But it's like having a good library. Just having instead of having them on a bookshelf in the house, they're now like on a hard drive, you know? So
yeah.
But then I think the other really big thing of news, probably the biggest, best for last, however you want to look at it. The Nintendo Switch.
I mean, I know all of that that whole trailer was all concept and stuff, but that was pretty good. If it works just as it shows, that's pretty good.
Yeah. My only thing, and I've been notorious about this for No Quarter, for Nitro Beard, Beardcast, years and years. I've been this way about Nintendo forever. I understand Nintendo systems are made for Nintendo games.
Mm-hmm.
They make a brand new system so they can put Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they care about.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I mean, look at fucking Mario's still a baller. They still make all their money back. I get it. But what is the incentive for third parties? I get it for the Nintendo 3DS. All of their handhelds have been supported very well. But I'm going to be honest with you. We got the Wii U. I got Xenoblade cuz that's my jam.
Yeah.
We got Mario. We got Donkey Kong. We have Splatoon, Mario Maker. That's it. That's the whole thing. So my usual rule of thumb to buy a system is if I can think of enough games to buy that cost more than the cost of the system, it's probably a good investment. So like if a system's $200 and I know I want at least $200 of games on that system, I'll go ahead and buy it. But I think I'm right on the money on the Wii U. Like I think the thing was $250 or $300, and then I think the amount of games I got's right at $250 or $300. That's about it. Like just barely broke even.
Wii U, he's a good player. It's the Wii U. Like it was kind of damned after like what first year or so, second year.
Yeah, and which is weird because there's great games for it. But that's the thing with all of the Nintendo systems is like there are incredible games. Oh my god, the 3DS. That if you like Japanese role playing games, you need to buy a Nintendo 3DS. Like it's almost a requirement because I'm playing. Oh my god, what am I playing right now? I have Shin Megami Tensei 4, like 3 Pokemon games, Monster Hunter, freaking Dragon Quest. Now they have the Virtual Console, so the Breath of Fire games are on there. This thing's insane. Final Fantasies. It's nuts, man. Like on my like SD card, I easily have 1,000 hours worth of stuff on there. Easy.
Dang.
I mean, it's crazy. That machine is nuts. Like the 3DS might be the best system available right now, just because, across the board. Just because the amount of
the PlayStation 1 and 2 like RPG library.
Yes, yeah, I'd put it up with it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you got some like Legend of Legacy. You got some stuff that's like So you remember in the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era, there were like, of course, your A-lister JRPGs. But then there was the ones like little lesser known. Like for every, Final Fantasy 7, you had something like Wild Arms.
Yeah.
Or you had Suikoden, perfect example. Or you had like Cardia, or like the terrible ones like the Grand Stream Saga. Or you have these games, like I want to say the 3DS has brought that type of thing back to where you have your clear A-listers, but then you have games for $15. Yeah, they're probably not the best, but hey, they're pretty good, and like they have a cult following, and so there's a lot going on with it. But yeah, I would say right now, like dollars to donuts type stuff, 3DS might be the best system you can buy.
Yeah, I would say so.
If you're looking just at pure fun and video games and stuff, so like I'm this weird. I don't know if it's just me or if there's a ton of people like me to where it's like I like Nintendo. I don't worship Nintendo, but I still think the best video game I've probably ever played as far as fun is Super Mario Galaxy. I think probably by far and away the best handheld system is the 3DS. Easy. That's an easy one. Probably the best system available right now is a Nintendo system with the 3DS. So like, they're at the top of the heap in a lot of regards, but I still can't unequivocally say I'm a huge Nintendo fan.
Yeah, I can agree with you in that sense. I grew up with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Sure, like I like the Nintendo games, but where like I started to like fall in love with like gaming and like video games, or where I started to become like a fanboy, was around like the PlayStation era.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I said, I like the Nintendo games. Like, I grew up like, Nintendo to, Super Nintendo and all that stuff up to the N64.
Right.
But I didn't have that deep love attachment to those games and those systems compared to other people that grew up in the same time frame as I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just as looking at the Switch at concept. I like that because in the podcast that I would listen to, they were trying to figure out what the NX was. Like, is it a mobile thing? Is it like is it going to be the same thing as the Wii U? Is it an actual game system? And I guess the concept of it is like it could be this, it could be a handheld, and it could be like your tablet thing. It could be your screen and a console system. That's a cool idea as long as it works.
Right.
And I would think because they have such a problem with third party, that would be like maybe like a 200% focus on just to have that library, because they will always have the first party. They're fine there.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They need that third party just to, not have another Wii U come around.
Yeah, and
the fact that they played Skyrim in that trailer, I was like, oh, I guess you can play Skyrim.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I guess my gripe was how small those controllers were once it went outside. Like when it went into the airplane, and then when after the basketball game, they all played 2K, and they had the small ass controllers. I was like, man, they better not be too small, because like I have fat big hands, and I'm not going to be able to
right.
control properly if I ever think about getting one.
Yeah, and part of me, I don't know if it's just going back to like last week where we were talking about just getting older and being like these damn kids.
Yeah, right.
But there's a scene in the trailer, and the big reveal proof of concept trailer is like what 3.5 minutes long or so.
Yeah, it is.
And there's so it shows a lot of different scenarios and opportunities. And there's one to where there's a girl and she's in her apartment, and she's playing Mario, like a concept Mario. And then
the roof party.
Yeah, so she looks out the window and she sees her friends on a rooftop little soiree or whatever. and they're there, and they wave her over, like, hey, come on over. So then she just goes and puts and really cool, I mean, cool proof of concept. She just puts unhinges the controller and then hooks it up to the side of like the tablet and then takes the tablet with her. And part of me, whenever I saw it, I understood like the impressiveness of like what just happened, but I was like, fucking turn it off. Like, just go hang out with your friends for a little bit. What are you doing? Like, don't take that shit with you. So maybe I'm not the demographic they want.
What were they playing?
Mario.
In that scene. Was it Mario?
Yeah.
They should have had like a party game if that was the case.
Right, and then they split the controller and started playing, and then they didn't show the screen again. And I was like, yeah, you can't do that with Mario. Unless like Luigi's in it. But it's like those old like advertisements where people are cheering at a computer screen and it's like a picture of the box art. You know, they're not even like playing a game. They're just like, yeah, video games. Yeah. It's just a picture of the box art.
The again, my real concern is the size of that controller, because it's reminding me of how like you've seen those clips where like they it's like adult grown men like ride those super small bikes. I'm literally seeing that with the controller. I just hope it's not that
those like clown tricycles.
Yeah.
Little squeaky horn on it. Right. Like going around. So okay. So here's the deal. Because you talked about if it works.
Yeah.
Are there any products to where the more shit they added to it, the better it got? Do you know what I mean? So like Swiss Army knives. Yeah. Swiss Army knives are terrible at everything they do. It's a shitty knife with a shitty bottle opener with a shitty toothpick. Like, it's all bad things put into one thing. Right. Like, okay, so like the 3-in-1, here's soap, shampoo, and conditioner. It's terrible at all of them. You know what I'm saying? So like, are there things of, I guess maybe smartphones, right? Because now smartphones have video cameras, they have voice recorders, they have all this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe they got better. But like physical, structural items, is it like, oh, here's a hat. Okay, like a beer hat. Like they put just 2 fucking cup holders on the side of a hat and give you a straw.
Yeah.
So, are we looking at a beer hat with this, or is this like going to be? Will it be like, I can't imagine my life without this now? Like now, all of my systems
doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. So if it works and it works as well as they say in the proof of concept and stuff, will this be so impressive that we're like, holy shit, man! Like I want my PS4 to break in half so I can take it with me. You know, like, is it going to reevaluate the way we think about playing games? Or is this just a dog and pony show? And there's no real way of knowing, and us talking about it right now is just kind of, you know, we're brothering around about it. But it's like, how... you go in with tempered expectations. But to be fair, I feel the same way right now about VR, about virtual reality, with the Rift, with the Oculus stuff, with the Vive, you know, all those headsets coming out. I'm like, yeah, but how good is it? Like, I have that feeling about it. Like, I haven't tried this thing yet. Should I try it? Is it going to make me motion sick? What controllers do I need? This is a big investment.
Yeah. I mean, what breaks VR for me is like, you need a room, a big size room. Sure. Just to have like the optimal experience. Like, if you don't have that room, it's not going to work.
So then, okay, and then to tie that back into the Nintendo, what is it? Switch? Yeah, the Nintendo. Right. I keep wanting to call it the NX, but the Nintendo Switch. So the same way that VR needs a room, with this, do I need to be somebody that goes on the go to hang out and play Mario Kart with my friends in order for this system to even make a lick of sense for me? Like, can it be the thing that collects that just sits up near my TV and never moves an inch, and then I just play my video games on it? Or
Yeah.
does it have to be like, here's my super social and I'm a butterfly and I'm going to go out and party and peruse on the rooftops and I'm going to take my
Yeah.
Mario machine with me? Like, what side is this? Like, can we just leave it alone? Is that a feature? Like, can we just set it there and it does the thing? Or do we, to really invest money and time in this, do we need to have a reason? Like, is it going to come with like Pokemon Go? Is it going to get me off my ass to go outside? Or is it the incentive like, now you can take your video games with you because we already have that and it's called the 3DS? Yeah, screw the Vita, by the way. Like, the Vita is just dead in the water. Sorry, Vita people. But
so I think for me personally, as I look at this system, the places that it needs to work is, one, the house, of course, where the console is always going to be. You're going to just plug in and play. You turn on your console, you play your game. Another part of that would be if I'm on the go, but then like I don't bring it to work, or like I don't bring it anywhere. Once I'm going out somewhere, I'm going out. I'm not gonna try to play a video game unless I'm going on a trip somewhere, a far trip, and maybe in that situation, but not so much of like how the guy had it on his seat and like he put the tabs on just for it to stand and play with the small mini controller. I don't really care about that. I would care about it more as a handheld. So as a handheld, it needs to work there.
Yeah.
And then for it to be a like, how they took, I guess they took the console with them, or like at least the part that detaches and you can bring.
Yeah.
It could be like a mobile console, like like memory card thing. Like you go from like one house, so you go to your friend's house because it's like they want to play the game that you have, but they want to play it on your save.
Oh, I see.
You bring your console. You bring your console over there, and he has the same setup, same Nintendo Switch thing. You plug it in, and then boom, you have your console, but at their friend's house.
See, that'd be rad.
That would be awesome if it worked like that. But it would just be those three scenarios: be at home, be it like a 3DS, on the go, and then like as a mobile memory card console thing.
Sure. And they did kind of show a proof of concept of that type of thing, to where those the group of 4 people were playing an NBA game, it looked like, to where that was actually really impressive, because they were each they each had their own Nintendo Switch console, and then they were each playing on their own console, but then it was 4-player multiplayer, local, local access network style. And then they were in each other's game, playing with a character and all that stuff. Basically a version of split screen, to where everyone literally has their own screen.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, if that shit works, that's awesome. So there are incentives, but it's like, I don't go hang out and play Smash with anybody. I don't go play Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. So I'll put it this way. I have a Microsoft Surface at my office. And for a Surface, for those that don't know, is like it's a tablet. It's just a normal Microsoft tablet, and then it comes with accessories like keyboards. I have it set up with a keyboard. I don't use the touchscreen. Half the time, I forget the Surface is a tablet because I'm using it like a laptop.
Yeah,
I forget that you can touch the screen. So, I'm clearly not the demographic for the Switch. I'll forget that I can take the fucking controller in half. I'll be like, oh, God, oh, what happened? I'll think I broke it. I'll be like, whoa, it fell apart. But then it's like, oh, no, it's built to do this. And then I slide it on the side of the thing, and then I do this, and then I do. I'll forget that it has half that functionality.
Mm.
I won't even use it. I know I won't. So, and clearly, I mean, they shouldn't make a console just for me. I'm not that naive. But it's like, who is this for? And what's problem is this solving that we weren't aware about? Or what, you know what I mean? Or is this, if this is a way kind of, because on the 3DS, you have what's called a spot pass. So if you're passing somebody with another 3DS, it like auto exchanges it like, hey, I met you. And then like your little avatars like wave at each other and stuff like that. Like it's a cool little system and it's a good way to get you out. So is like that their incentive? Do they want to go the spot pass route? Or I guess we just need to know more about it. I guess we need to see it in its true functionality. I mean, but the idea is neat. Like the idea, I'm very intrigued by it. I just don't know if I would use it.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to put it. Like they showed really cool ideas, but are any of those ideas anything I would use? Probably not.
Yeah, that's gonna be from person to person. How they're gonna go about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if there's gonna be anybody that's gonna like, bring it with you and then play video games outside. Like you're outside. I think
just
you're
go
trying to
be
be
with your
outside to be
people.
away
Yeah,
from video games.
they invited you over to a nice cocktail soiree over on the rooftop in Brooklyn. And then you're fucking gonna take your Nintendo Switch. No, leave it at home. Go eat beans or whatever they got over there. I don't know what they're serving.
Mario to a party. Like I think as far as I know now, like people play co-op Mario just to grieve each other.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So yeah, you're gonna bring over your system just to piss off your friends. Like
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like unless that's part of the deal. So I'm all for the social gaming and like Rock Band and that type of stuff's fun. You get some drinks.
Yeah.
You get a big group of people. Like there's nothing better. But it's like, do you really need it that quick? Like you would plan this in advance. Like this is a thing. Bring over your system. Bring over the multi-tap. Whatever it was, you would plan it like a week in advance, and it would be something you were looking forward to. But now it just seems like that sort of fun is taken out of it because it's like, well, fuck it, I'll just unplug my deal and then we'll just do like it's just on a whim,
Right.
But maybe that's the benefit.
A way I can see that like the social gaming work more because there's an app right now called Meetup. Basically, you just type in whatever thing you want to meet up with, like just total strangers or like people who have like similar interests.
Yeah.
And then you either join the group or like say that you're gonna go to that meetup and then do that thing. So like I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like video game meetups. I mean, you would have to use an external app to be able to like have like a culture of that going.
Yeah.
Right. But
right.
That's you're going so far to just try to get that going at the same time.
Yeah, and Nintendo's always been about 10 years behind on things like that. Like they really pushed friend codes for the longest time. You remember that friend codes were like 22-digit UPC deciphered codes. And like I made the joke way back in the day on Nitro Beard, but like I remember friend codes, they were called phone numbers.
Yeah, right.
You would just call your fucking friend and then figure it out. Like, but now all these, let me share my friend code, and my friend code's different on my 3DS than it was on my DS, but now it's different from what's on my Wii U, and now the Wii is set up to where, like, come on, like, give me an account. Let me log into my account, and then let me see what my purchases were. Because for the longest time, Nintendo stuff was tied to the system you bought it on, not your account.
That's what a video I was watching today. I think it was Game Attack. Affiliated to Screw Attack, or maybe it's Screw Attack called Game Attack now. I don't know the story there, but I think that was one of the guys' worries is they wanted the store to be unified. If that's the case, because I know, like as you said, the stores is only towards like each system.
Yes,
it's not all unified.
Right, and not only that, there was and they fixed it a little bit, and now it's not as bad. But whenever I first got my 3DS, I got one of the first 3DSs, so I was part of the Founders program. So as a founder, you get access to all these like exclusive games. Like you got Metroid all these Metroid games, and you got a bunch of free stuff. It was cool, and it was tied to the. I thought it was tied to the account, so I would log in with my Nintendo ID and stuff, and I got all this free stuff.
Man.
So then I sell it and upgrade because, of course, the 3DS XL comes out, and it's this new big fancy thing, and I'm like, yeah, man, let me just upgrade mine. None of my purchases transferred. Not a single solitary one. So I lost easily $140 worth of stuff.
Dude.
Because the games, so you could purchase, imagine going on iTunes and purchasing a song, then logging into iTunes on your phone, and it says you have no purchases. And you have to repurchase the same song just because you're using a different version of the same device.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be. I know it because I lived it. Like, I had to rebuy my shit that I already bought because they said, we can't prove it's you. What the fuck are you talking about? I logged in with my username and stuff. Like, unbelievable. Now, on the flip side, maybe we've been spoiled by Steam. I log into Steam at work. I can download whatever game I want at work. I download into Steam here at home. I can download whatever game I want. You know, as long as I'm logged into Steam and it verifies my account, I have access to all 1,200 games. Anytime, anywhere. I can put them on my Surface. I can put them on there. I just need to log into Steam. That's it. That's all it's checking.
And maybe Nintendo is trying to get to that.
I hope so, man.
I hope
so.
Their console, maybe through their store, maybe.
I mean, I know it's better. I know it's better now. I know that your purchases are tracked on your account, but I'm not sure if I went and, let's say, bought a 2DS or whatever, or like another version of the 3DS, or even just another 3DS. If I logged in on that new system, would it show my purchases and let me download it onto the new system, or if it's still tied to the device itself? Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. I just don't know.
We don't know. We don't know beyond what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
Speculation at this point, but we're just hoping it's going to be good, because otherwise this will be the console I would go back to Nintendo since like the N64.
Yeah. And I mean, Nintendo's just, they play by their own rules. So like comparing them to, you know, they're like Disney. Like, Disney doesn't give a shit what other companies are doing. Like, you really think Disney cares what DreamWorks is doing? No. Like, they're just doing their own thing. They're making money. They know what they're aware that competition exists. But like, Nintendo's not in the quote unquote video game market the same way that Sony and Microsoft are. They're just not, and they know it. And they don't need to try to follow in the footsteps of like the PS4 or something. Like, they do their own thing, and that's why they make so much money, is because they're the only ones doing it. Yeah. And good for them. Like, keep up that trend of doing crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, can I sit down on my couch and play a video game? Like, is that a functionality of this thing? Like, in this, what they showed, that the answer is yes. But I got on the same thing with the Wii. Whenever the Wii was first announced on Nitro like, it was half and half. Half of us were like super stoked, and then the other half was like, "Can I like not like have to do jumping jacks to play my video games, please? Can I just get my controller in my hand and be good to go?" And then, you know, of course, it went through, and it was a little column A and a little column B. But I just think that Nintendo sometimes gets so bogged down with what's the new way we can be the most innovative, that at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, but are you going to have Activision games on your system? You know, are you going to secure those third-party rights now? Are you going to make stuff that's not just Donkey Kong and Zelda? Like, come on, we got to... Hell, I think here's the biggest wake-up call, and I know we're going to wrap it up here. We're almost at exactly an hour and a half. But but to wrap it up, I think Pokemon Go is the biggest breakthrough for Nintendo, because I hope they realize that they don't need to be so fucking controlling. Like, you can play Pokemon, a version of Pokemon now, on an iPhone and an Android, Those are not Nintendo devices.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest IPs on the planet, and it's owned by Nintendo. This might be the way that they kind of sprinkle a little bit. And like, how is this going to go? Well, if Pokemon Go is anything to go by, it's going real fucking well. So now they talked about the smartphone thing for Mario, that Mario Runner game.
Mario Runner.
So now we're getting somewhere. Now Nintendo's starting to think about it and be like, wait a minute, if we license out our characters to other systems, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to make a lot of fucking money is what's going to happen. Like, now they're starting to think a little bit more broad. And that's what excites me, is I'm like, okay, now Nintendo's in business. Like, they could rule the world. Tell me what would happen the moment a Mario game comes out on the Xbox.
Right.
Holy Jesus. Like, now it's fair game, man. Now Nintendo's the best selling anything ever. And I mean, because everyone said no, Sonic would never come on anything that wasn't a Sega system. Yeah, it would never be on anything other than a Sega system. Well, guess what? Sega got out of the system business. Sonic's still doing pretty well, man. They're bringing Shenmue back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Sony's bankrolling that one, but it's still like Sega gets it. I mean, you could argue that Sega's kind of a shadow of its former self, but they're still around.
They're still around. They don't have to deal with the console.
No kidding. They don't have to deal with that upkeep.
Like, what is this, Brazil or South America that's really popular still?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The Dreamcast or something?
Yeah, Dreamcast is still going. And yeah, but I mean, Nintendo's starting to branch out. And that's what I'm excited about, because don't fall into the whole Apple thing of get so closed off and smelling your own shit that you can't, like, oh, iTunes links with Safari and Safari links with the like, it's all this just dumb. It's a bunch of marks, basically. Like, everyone's you're an Apple mark. You know what I mean? Like, I won't buy anything that's not Apple. It's like, congratulations on spending 4 times as much on a laptop. Like,
on a headphone jack.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have $140 headphones because they were brave enough to not put a fucking 3.5 millimeter jack on a phone.
Yeah.
And they say it's courage. Get out of here. Like, you know, it's just, they're just so fucking full of it. It's like, get out of here with all that.
Right.
It's like, they just believe their own hype. And, like, I can't buy that. And, like, I'm hoping Nintendo's not believing its own hype on, we changed the world with the Wii, we changed the world with the Wii U, we're going to do it again with the Nintendo Switch. And, like, they're just so focused on the gimmick of it that they don't... Innovation. Yeah, that they're so, like, into the innovation of it that they don't see it for a video game system. I mean, but who knows? Maybe there's more Pokemon Go and shit. Maybe they don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they'll make their money back hand over fist doing outsourcing stuff on the side. And
what game would convince you to get one? Any game out there?
That's the thing, man. Like, I don't know. I think that's my problem with it. Yeah, it's like, I don't have one. I don't think there's a single solitary game that they could make.
2017 No Mercy, or
right, where it's like a full on LAN party,
back to Aki Engine and all that.
Yeah,
stuff?
Aki Engine, right, like, or like a freaking Battletoads style. You know,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think there is one, and that might be my problem with it. It's like, there's not a real single game unless I see it, unless they blow me away and they're like, oh, well, you think you don't need anything? Wait till you see our new Star Fox for it, or
you
something.
Find out that Red Dead Redemption 2 is on.
Yeah, exclusive, like, Nintendo Switch. You use both controllers to, like, gallop the horse.
Yeah. I'm gonna take this to my party.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's how you do the posse. It's all 7 people with their Nintendo Switches robbing banks.
Switches. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope as shit. Oh, but I think that is it, man. I think that's
Yeah.
Brothering Around episode 3, a big meaty episode.
Yeah, man.
To kind of chew on.
Yeah.
Kind of chew on that one. And like, we've made a lot of enemies today. I know for a fact, man. We're gonna get the 1-star iTunes ratings.
Right.
Those fucking bald guys don't know what they're talking about.
5 stars.
5. Yeah, right. They get it
reverse
wrong.
Review.
The reverse review. Yep. And then we get the 1 star. I love this podcast. Like, fuck you.
Are you trying to help us or what?
Oh, right. It's like, wait a minute. Is this passive aggressive? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But basically, if we've learned one thing from this episode, Josh Holloway needs to be Gambit.
Is to wait a day later for all the
wait one day before you do major things.
Record the podcast.
Don't try to surprise your wife.
Yeah, right.
That's the one lesson, kids. Don't try to outsmart your significant other because they fucking
mentally
know.
No turns to the house, then you can't win.
That's so wild. She knew, like, she could work for the government, man. She could be one of those people that she blindfolds she blindfolds them, and she's like, I know where we're going, but you don't.
You know that in the X-Men universe, Cerebro.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my wife. She knows exactly mentally where to find the particular locations or whatever.
That's amazing. But dude, like, it's so good having women that are way smarter than us.
Right, yeah, right.
Oh shit, like, keeps us honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, I'd be a mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that is Brothering Around episode number 3.
Number 3.
Booyaka. We got 3 in the can, man. 3 weeks consistent in a row.
Yeah.
Doing good times. Good times on that.
Try not to break it.
Yeah, we'll try
not to reverse Undertaker.
Not to undo the streak. Yeah, right. We got that streak going, man. Oh, but that's our time. I'm Wes Gardner. That's Mr. Marco Flores. This is Brothering Around. Subscribe on iTunes. If you're listening on YouTube, thanks. If you're on comedyhobo.com, double thanks. But yeah, give us that iTunes love. That's some triple thanks right there from your boys.
That would help us. Reviews.
Great deal.
Ratings.
Great deal. Yeah,
likes.
Let us know. Yeah, those likes.
Subscribe.
And please like and subscribe. Do that hustle, man. That's it.
Man.
Wear some Italian suits that I saw today with some of those big gold belt buckles on the shoes. Just they dress so ugly, you knew they were made of money. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't give a fuck.
I'm picturing your conference, but like there's like a fight going on, and then the Yakuza it and like
that's
they rip
pretty
the top
much, dude.
Off, and then
some of those guys, they had that hair slick back. They had that
tattoos on their back.
They had that orange tan. You know what I'm talking about. All right, but that's it, guys. We will see you guys next week here on Brothering Around. Peace.
Peace, guys.